I'm going to be playing abandoned Roblox games to see why they went from being some of the most popular games on the platform to being completely abandoned. First, I played Twisted Murder, which used to be my favorite game back in the day. So it just sucks seeing how if you want to play a game, you have to wait 10 to 20 minutes just to have enough players to start a round. So I invited my friends to help. So I got innocent the first game, and then this happened. So yeah, after not receiving updates for nearly 7 years, this game is really buggy. So then when we loaded into the next round, this happened. So I spawned in the parking garage as murderer, so I just immediately died and I had no chance to kill anyone. And it's just so crazy to think that this game went from being posted on the Roblox YouTube channel to having basically 0 players today. But I wanted to give the game one more chance, so I loaded up into a new game, and then this happened. Yeah, it happened 3 times in a row, so today the game is basically unplayable. So I just called it quits and left the game. But I do wish Taymaster would come back to Twisted Murder and maybe make like a revamped version of the game that's actually playable. But most likely that won't happen, so for now the game is completely dead. And next up we have a game I used to also play all the time as a kid, and that is Vehicle Simulator. And playing this game for the first time again after like 5 years, it was very nostalgic. But just like Twisted Murder, the game stopped receiving updates. And you might be asking yourself right now, why are all these big developers just giving up on their massive games that have such a big fan base? Well, most of the time it's just because they quit. They don't love what they're doing anymore and they just want to do something else. But for SimBuilder, the story is a little bit different. So SimBuilder was invited to RDC in 2023, which is kind of just like a big conference for big developers like himself. But he decided to make a choice that would redirect his whole entire career. So he decided to bring his own gun to the event. And bringing a gun to RDC is just obviously not allowed, so the security guards asked him to leave, he didn't want to leave, and it just ended up in a huge brawl in the RDC parking lot. And after he got himself into all this drama, it later led to his account being terminated. So with his account being terminated, that means Vehicle Simulator will never receive an update ever again, meaning it is completely abandoned. Which is very unfortunate because I would say this game was pretty ahead of its time. But every single day this game is losing more and more players due to obviously no new content because, the developer is terminated, there's not much left to do in this game. So yeah, it's just completely dead. So the next game up is Breaking Point, which has not received an update since 2019. And similar to Twisted Murder, it's simply because the developer just quit. But even without receiving an update in 6 years, this game is still pretty fun. But I decided to invite my friends to play with me again, and we had a pretty fun time. Besides the fact they set a plan before the game to just only target me, which didn't really go well for him. Yeah, he literally died immediately. And as the game went on, I was getting closer and closer to winning. And then it was my turn to choose someone to fight, and I chose the girl right next to me. And it was a pretty close fight. She got close to killing me, but I ended up killing her. But with it being down to 3 people, someone chose to fight me. But I had a lot of confidence from already killing 2 people, so I was pretty sure I could kill her. But that confidence was short-lived because she killed me immediately. But I ended up having quite a bit of fun in this game, even though it's abandoned. Just because it's abandoned doesn't mean it's completely dead either. It still has about 300 players every single day. It's just not every day you see a game with 1.3 billion visits average 300 players. But even though this game still has a couple hundred players today, it still is completely abandoned. So this next game is actually an exact remake of Vampire Hunters 2 just because that game is no longer accessible. And just seeing this menu screen gave me so much nostalgia. But when I loaded up into the game, it was completely empty, so I had to recruit somebody. And when he got here, he immediately started giving me backshots. But now that we're on the topic of backshots, I think it's completely normal to give your homies backshots. It's just super comforting, and it's a way to show them you really care about them. So if you're watching this video right now, make sure to pause the video and go text your homie, hey man, I want to give you some backshots. And if they respond with a, oh, ew, man, that's so gross, I don't want those, they're either lying or they're not really your friend. Anyways, let's get back on the topic of Roblox. I got chose to be a vampire the first game. And when I got into a game, I noticed something was a little bit off. Oh yeah, I'm by my fucking self. You might be wondering, oh, didn't you just have a friend playing with you? Yeah, I'm wondering the same fucking thing. At least I was for a minute until I checked Discord. Yeah, bro, as if it wasn't lonely enough, he literally disconnected from the game, so now I just gotta play by myself. But I'm not too mad about it because it really showed me how eerie games can be when they're completely abandoned and you're all alone. It's just kind of weird playing a game that I remember being jam-packed with players completely dead. So even though someone made an exact copy of the original game, I think it's just completely abandoned. And this next game is a game I still play pretty often today, and that is Framed. So I loaded up into the first match, pretty excited to play. So for this first match, I was chosen to be a police officer. And if you have never played this game at least one time, just click off the video because this is a classic banger. Yeah, bruh. Never mind. This game is fucking ass. Very frustrated from that loss, I decided to let out a horrible word that you should never say, and you'll never know what I said because it got hashtagged. And then I started eyeing down this hot, sexy piece of woman here. And then she, wasn't too happy with me looking at her. She said, "Why are you looking at me?" Bitch, because I fucking can. What are you talking about? Yeah, bro, anyways, I got framed next round, which is probably the best one you could get. So my first target was this African-American man with a very nice smile, which I gunned down immediately. Yeah, he quite literally stood no chance against me. But my next target, appears to be having very explosive diarrhea. And seeing the agony of the explosive diarrhea coming out of him, I saw him and just immediately started gunning him down, and he tried to book it. But he made one crucial mistake, and that was joining the same lobby as me. And then the next target I had was just like highlighted red with a big arrow above his head. I don't know why that was, but he ended up killing me, which was pretty unfortunate. And when I got back to the lobby, she was the one eyeing me down now. She was quite literally all over me, can't get enough of me, am I right, guys? And next round I got to be undercover, which is kind of just like a cop, but like you're pretending to be a framed person. So this is me using my master camouflage skills to blend right in with the NPCs. They have absolutely no fucking clue. And my trick worked perfectly because these two guys started fighting right in front of me and I killed them both. I'm gonna be honest here, I didn't even know he could fucking kill me since I was undercover, but hey man, that's how the fucking game works, I guess. So yeah, as you can tell, I still really enjoy this game to this day, and I wouldn't really consider the game completely dead. It still averages about, 60 to 100 players every day. And it actually received an update like a month ago. So you might be asking yourself, if the game got updated a month ago, why are you playing it in an abandoned games video? And to that I say, I kind of just felt like it. But on a real note, even though this game isn't completely abandoned, it has experienced a huge decline in players. A couple years ago, this game was pulling thousands of players, and now every single day the game averages around 50 to 60 players. So yeah, it's not completely abandoned, but it's still very fun for a game that came out 15 years ago. So with that being said, let's go on to the next game. And this game being Survive the Disasters, which is just such a classic game I played all the time when I was a kid. But nowadays, it is completely abandoned by the developer, with the last update being in December of 2022. But that doesn't necessarily mean the developer gave up on all of his games. As for his game Survive the Disasters 2, it was just recently updated 2 months ago. So as of today, this game really pulls around 50 to 100 players every single day. And it is not consistently updated, obviously. But even though it doesn't really receive updates, it still is a fun game to come revisit. I really like checking out the old maps I missed, and all these old weird disasters that honestly made no sense. It's just unfortunate the developer would rather update the shitty remake than the OG. But as I was playing, there was a disaster called Illumina, which just was the weirdest fucking disaster ever. I just started randomly exploding left and right, and everything was just blowing up around me. And right as I thought I was safe, I just busted immediately, which I would say I'm pretty familiar with. But anyways, it is kind of unfortunate this game does not receive updates anymore, but it still was fun, playing the game again after such a long time. But with it having no new updates, this game is officially abandoned. And the next game we're going to be playing is Assassin. And when I loaded up in the game, I just saw this guy flying. I'm just speechless. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. And then he obviously studied like quantum mechanics or something because he started fucking cloning himself. But anyways, I load up into my first round, and then of course my target is the guy that fucking studied quantum mechanics. And then it all started making sense. Of course, bro. This guy is fucking exploiting in this old ass abandoned game, bro. I would say I want everyone watching this video to report this guy, but no. Find his fucking house and blow it up. But anyways, I got into another round, and who could have fucking guessed it? My target is that goddamn exploiter again, bro. So I started just spam swinging my knife, hoping I could kill him, but no. He just teleported to me and killed me immediately. So I had enough with that server, so I left that one and hopped into a new one. And then I got put into a round, and I got this beautiful bacon-haired specimen as a target. Little did I know this beautiful specimen was another exploiter, bro. Unbelievable. So yeah, it comes as no surprise to me why this game got abandoned in the first place. It obviously has an exploiting problem, and it's just not a good game. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the video. I had a lot of fun checking out all these old abandoned Roblox games. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all later.